Hello, everyone. Welcome to the live stream. It was a little bumpy there trying to get live, but we are now finally there. So the board games have arrived and we're ready to open them. I'm going to wait a minute just to see if anyone is going to join us here, but we'll go ahead and get started in just a minute. And then feel free to post any questions in the Q&A, and I'll be happy to answer those once we get the unboxing finished. Go ahead and see here as well. See if I can send out some announcements. Let's see. See if I can send it out to the Discord here. We are live. Okay. All right. Got it. Okay, that should send out some announcements. And hello there. How are you doing? Yep, we're about to unbox The Shadow of the Nokzaru, a board game. So we're going to wait to see if a couple more people join us, but then we'll probably start here in about 5 minutes. Once we get to the 5-minute mark, we'll go ahead and start unboxing the board game. But yeah, so been designing this for about half a year, a year and a half now. And it's been a long journey, lots of prototype, lots of manufacturing work, but this will be Well-To-Do Walrus's game's first publication, but pretty excited for it. So. And feel free to post any comments or questions you might have about the board game in the chat, and I'll be happy to answer those once we get the unboxing finished. I'm going to see if anyone else is going to join us today. All right. And then let's see. What if I can. So just to show you all a little bit about the game, we can kind of go through some of the webpage about it just for it. So The Shadow of the Nokzaru is a board game set in feudal Japan. In it, two daimos are battling each other to move their ninjas to invade the enemy's castle. The first person to do so, while preventing their enemy from doing the same, will be crowned the victor. Some of the key concepts are hidden movement. You'll have some powerful cards to use. The spaces on the board are actually randomized while you're playing, and also you will be able to take over outposts and stuff to be able to gain extra forces for your army. In fact, while we're waiting, we can go ahead and see the trailer for the old trailer. The date's a little off, but we'll watch that now. So that was the trailer for the new publication from Well-To-Do Walrus Games, The Shadow of the Nokzaru, designed by Jacob Bowers, which is me. But we're going to go ahead and show you guys just a little bit more of the videos while we're waiting for some more people to join. We'll take a look here, see. Probably, let's see. And get some more photos here of the concept art for the game. And you can see here we've got some images for like the spaces, cards and stuff, and then our cover for the board game. And then that's about it for the page. But it looks like we do have a couple people here. Hello, hello. How are you doing? And I see we have another join in. So hello. So yeah, so if you missed anything, say yeah, we just finished watching the trailer. I'm going to sharing now here, but yeah, so we're about to unbox here in just a second. And what we're going to do is, if you have any questions about the board game, anything like that, feel free to post in the comments down below, and I'll be answering them as soon as the unboxing is finished. As well, if you will like the video while you're watching to help kind of boost it in the algorithm a bit, and see if we get some other people in here watching it as well when it comes time. So yeah, so it looks like we're about ready to do that unboxing. I want to see if we can get a couple more people in here before we have to go ahead with it. But we might try and see if anyone else joins. Hello there. Yep. And see, we got about 3 people in here right now. So yeah, so like I said, if you have any questions about the board game, go ahead, feel free, post them in the bottom in the comments section, and I'll be getting to them as soon as we finish unboxing here. So I'll go ahead and get my camera down here a bit, and we should be about ready to go. And if you want to kind of post where you're coming from, kind of see where everyone's living at. All right, hello, and welcome to the stream. Yep, and so we're about to unbox the Shadow of the Nokzaru, and so hello there. Yeah, and so what we're about to do, this is Well-to-Do Walrus Games. We're about to unbox the Shadow of the Nokzaru, the Well-to-Do Walrus Games first publication. And what's going to happen is in here in just a couple minutes, we're going to unbox the game. We're going to show it off a bit finally for the first time. I haven't even opened it myself, so this will be my first look at it as well. But yeah, so if you have any questions about the game, kind of what it plays like, how many players, go ahead and post that in comments down below, and I'll be happy to answer that for you. And then while you're here, if you wouldn't mind to give it a like as well, kind of boost the algorithm. Try to see if we can get a couple more people in here watching it. And I think we're about ready to go. And we'll say when we hit the 8-minute mark here, I'm going to go ahead and we'll start opening it. All right, 3, 2, 1. All right, so we are going to go ahead and start unboxing the game. So you can kind of see it here in the corner. So they got me 3 copies of the board game. And so it came overseas really quickly, actually. I think it took only like, once they picked it up, it was like about 3 days. It took them 4 months to make it, but they were able to get it, thankfully, here in about 3 days. So what we're going to do, we're going to open it up here and kind of see what it looks like. I'll show off some of the components, and this will be like a prototype copy of the game. Once we go live with the Kickstarter, it'll be kind of the art displayed and stuff. And when we go live, we'll be hiring artists to make final art for the game for now. But for right now, this is the prototype copy for sure. And we're about to open that up and take a look at it. So I'm going to... All right, let's see what we've got. We're going to be taking a look. All right, time for the big reveal. After a 1.5 years of development, I present to you Shadow of the Nokzaru, designed by Jacob Bowers, published by Well-to-Do Walrus Games. All right, so I'm going to get this out of here for you guys. Take one last look here, and we'll go ahead and get this out of the box. Oh yeah, baby. Yep, definitely. The box quality is excellent. I can tell it feels really good. So we kind of see. Try and get it. I have to do this mirror image, watching myself on the stream. But yeah, so we've got the board game here. And so we'll go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and get it set up. We'll take a look. We'll get the components out, take a look at them too. All right, let's see. Oh, and then the inside, got a cool graphic on the inside too as well. So I was excited about that part. Okay, so it looks like coming into the box, we've got the tracker mats. I believe there should be, we've got this one here, and it's double-sided to track the other side. And then we've got the rule book, as every good board game needs. And then you can see really good paper quality, I can tell, it feels like. So kind of got the prototype rules. Let's see. Yeah, got that going here. So I do really like that for sure. And then one of the biggest parts of the game is it comes with this very large partition. And so we've got that going for you here, and it's double-sided. So we've got the art on this side and the art going on this side. And then that's going to be, you'll set it up kind of like this, and you'll hide your mat on one side, and then the opponent's mat will be on this side, and then you'll track your ninjas like that. And then looks like we've got quite a few different pieces here. So we've got the double-sided hexes for the spaces and some of the action tokens. So this is kind of some of these are the desert spaces. So these ones don't produce anything, but these are some of the spaces of the game. Then we've got the farmer peasant spaces and also the archer spaces here. And then it looks like we've got a couple more archer spaces, and then we've got the scout spaces here. And then this up here, I think is the wild space for sure. And then we've got some more action tokens. And then we've got the two castle spaces, the red team and the blue team. And this is where like all your pieces spawn and move out, and the ninjas will restart here as well if they get captured. And it looks like we've got the samurai spaces as well as a couple other action tokens as well. And then we've got the second tracker mat. And then it looks like, okay, so we've got, so every game, whether it's the deluxe edition or the standard edition, comes with wooden dice. So what you'll see here, right here, we've got the peasant dice. And so, or sorry, these are the production dice, not the peasant dice. Yeah, so what they do, these ones have 3 sides with a bag logo and 3 sides that are blank. Let's see, yeah, there. And so when you try to produce a troop, you'll roll the die, and if you get a bag, you made a troop. And if you got a blank, you'll have to try again. Then also you have combat dice. We've got it with 5 of them, but I'll just show you these 2 here. We've got the red and the blue. And then when you're combating each other, for each person in the battle, you roll a die. If you get a sword, like this one got, then you hit. If you get a blank, it's a miss. But the attack's like parry. So if you have one guy coming in with a sword and another guy coming with a sword, they clash off of each other and they cancel out. And then whoever has more hits or swords gets the hit on the opponent and takes out a troop. And then it doesn't matter how many extra swords you get, but like as long as you overpower with the parry and you take out an opponent, sort of thing. And so we've got like 5 of those. So we've got a couple more here of the blues, and then a couple more of the reds there. And then it looks like we also have quite a few meeples, and it looks like these came out really well. Yeah, I'm liking these. So we've got 5 different designs of meeples in 2 different colors. And then I think each one's gonna have 3 except the samurai meeple. So we've got the archer meeple here. He's got his little crossbow and quiver up here. Then is here, and then here he is in the blue. And then we've also got the star of the show, the ninja meeple, with his little ninja star and hair bun there. And then we should have a blue one too as well in here. Let me see if I can find him. Yep, so here's a blue ninja meeple. And then it looks like we've got Mr. Scout, which is your basic troop, which is used to like kind of explore the land a bit. More of a standard troop there, class. And we've also got him in the red as well. And then let's see, I think the other one we should have, yes, let's think the samurai. And then we've got the Samurai Meeple, which is a jumbo Meeple, a bit larger than the rest because there's only one of him you can have on your team at a time. And then he comes in the red and the blue. So that's about it for the Meeples, but you do get quite a few. As you can see, we've got quite a few different Meeples. And then we also have the card deck. So I will go ahead and open this up too and show you. Now, these are all Tarot-sized cards, and you'll get 2 decks. You'll have the green reference card deck and the red standard deck, at least for now, for the backs currently. Yeah, card quality on these feel really good, I'm thinking. Yeah, I think these really came out real nice. So we've got, and then I'll show you guys some of the cards as well. So for example, right here is the fire card. So, and then what you'll do is during the game, you'll draw these and you'll be able to play them on your turn. Like I think you play 1 card on your turn and 1 card on an opponent's turn. And you get to either you get to use them to take the effect, or you can also play a card during a combat to, instead of use the effect at the bottom, you can add that many dice to the top, up to 5 total dice for your combat rolls. And so we've got fire is one of the examples. My favorite card, yeah, here he is Massive Oversight. Just a giant explosion. So somebody made a mistake somewhere. But that one's my favorite card. So, but then we've got some others. So like Windfall is another good one. That one gets you, I think, it's some extra actions. And then let's see, you've got Disloyal Populace is another good one. And then like Heavy Patrol, things like that. So they'll give you different bonuses and things. And then we've also got our reference cards here. You'll have 1 for each player. I think there's like, let's see here, I think there's 8 you'll have, and then there's going to be 2 copies for each player. So like here's the reference for the Samurai, for example, or references for the rules for outpost capture and things like that. Okay. And then on top of all the extra goodies and stuff, you will receive with every copy a custom molded tray to help hold the pieces in. So I'm going to pop out some of the pieces and kind of show you where everything can go. And that should help with storage of the game a lot, so you don't have a lot of pieces flying everywhere, because nobody likes that. So let me see. I'll get everything back in here as if you didn't have any of the baggage or stuff, or if it got damaged. You should still be able to store almost everything in the board game with this tray. And then, so you'll have custom holes for the dice and for the meeples. So let me go ahead and pack up everything here, and I'll get to show you guys a photo. Okay. Okay. Let's see. So what will happen is I won't pop out all of these yet, but we'll take a look. You can take a look. So once you pop them out of their cardstock and you've got the piece, you can take the action tokens. So I see if I can get here without it all falling out on me. But you can take the action tokens and you can set them in here. They've got their own custom hole and they'll fit in there for you. Then you can take these and you can set them down like that. And so the idea is once you have all your tokens out, you'll stack them in 4 piles evenly. Kind of like so. And then what you can do is you can take, once you get all your normal hexes in there, you can take like a castle space, and you can take your castle space and stick it on top, and then it's organized in there for you, so you don't have all the hexes just everywhere. So that way you can easily pull it out and get the game going. All right, so I think that's about all of the components for this game copy here. And then as you saw, once you get all the hexes in, you'll put the boards on top. I believe they might have, yeah, so they've got it set up enough. You can fit it in horizontally like that. And then what you'll do is you'll take the partition and set it on top so it fits in there real nice. And then you'll just take the rule book, lay it on top, and the lid, and put it over it. And voila, you've got your board game stored. So also, and then you guys can see the back as well. We've got that going there. And then they were kind enough to make me 3 copies of the board game. So we've got another one here. I won't open it for y'all, but just you can see we've got 2. And then the 3rd here. And then also we have bubble wrap because everyone loves bubble wrap. But other than that, that's the Shadow of the Nokzaru. So that was the board game, and very excited that it's finally here. Looking forward to actually doing some play testing with the prototype, make sure it holds up to quality, and then send it on to some YouTube reviewers. And after that, I think the Kickstarter will start. So looking forward to that a lot. So let's see what's going on in the chat over here. Let's see. How much of the copy of the final product cost? That will kind of depend a little bit on. I've still got to run the numbers with a more recent time frame. When I was doing it before, it was around 50-ish, but that's not 100% certainty. We'll have to see at the Kickstarter. Let's see here. Will the game be out in the fall? No, that was from the old trailer. So that trailer is probably not today. I would ideally, hopefully, be launching in a couple months, as soon as possible. It's just going to have to be when I get all my marketing materials squared away. So it's going to be hopefully here in a couple months, though. Let's see. Can't wait to play the real thing. Yeah, me too. Me too. All right, that's like a bit about it for the questions for right now. So, all right, so what we'll do is I'll go ahead and I'll set up a board game of all the pieces. We'll get them all unboxed, and we can take a look at the board game setup too. The only thing I don't have components for right now will be the outposts, just because I didn't want the molds to make the plastic pieces a little more. You'll be getting plastic outposts with the board game. Just it's going to take a minute for me. I haven't got someone to 3D print them for me for the prototypes. And then once those are printed, I'll maybe upload some photos of them for y'all with it fully set up with the towers. But the concept is with the towers, when you capture them, you'll have plastic flags, and you can stick the flags in the towers. I'll see if they maybe gave me one with the other 2. I had sent them I had one 3D printed. So there may be one if they send it back with the games, but I'll have to check. I'm opening these up real quick. Let me take a look. Not seeing it in that one per se. Let me try the last one here. See. Yeah, so I'm not. Looks like they kept the prototype for now, so that'll be okay for now. So what we'll do is I'll just have I'm going to have someone 3D print them eventually for me in a bit before I send them off to the YouTube reviewers. But basically, what it's going to be is it's going to be like a plastic tower, and then you'll have colored flags. So the tower will be gray in the standard edition. We'll see if there is a premium edition. I'm wanting to talk to the quality control guy to see. I'm working with to see if we can do one, and then we might see what they're able to do to pimp it out a bit more. But with the standard edition, you'll get a custom 3D plastic mold, and then what will be inside that mold will be everyone will have three plastic flags, and you can take the plastic flag, put it in the in the outpost. There'll be a hole in it to like hold it in there, and that way you can capture it, sort of thing. And then once you capture it, you can take it. People can uncapture it, take them out, put them in. You can see who controls them with the different colored flags in the tower. All right. So anyway, since let me go ahead and get that game set up. Then we'll do it with this bottom one here. And so, let's see. All right. So yeah, so if you guys have any further questions, go ahead and post them, and I'll be happy to answer them. And if you haven't already, go ahead and like the video to kind of boost it in the algorithm. See if we can get anyone else in here excited about the game. See if we can share it with anyone else. That'd be great. But let me go ahead and get these pieces popped out here, and we should be good to go. But yeah, but we'll see. And we'll get you guys seeing the table here one second once I get everything popped out here. And then we'll adjust the camera for y'all to see the game a bit better. I'm just going to get all the pieces out of their punch boards for now. Let's see. All right, almost there. I've just got a couple more to punch out here, and then we'll get the board game set up. Okay, good deal. All right, so I think that gets all a game's components. Let's see here, we got the tracker mats. Now I do think I popped out a different game. So let me see if I can find the original one I had. We'll put it. Let's see. Yes, this is the original one. So we'll stick everything of that in here. This will go there. But just give me a moment to get this adjusted here. Okay. All right. Looks like that does that. Get this other one open again. Yes. Okay. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and move the camera now to let you all see the table. And then while I set it up for you guys, I'm going to move it down here. And then let's see. Yeah, I'm taking a look at the computer here, trying to see the live stream. Let's see. Probably try to move it around. Yeah, I think that about gets it. Let me move these boxes here out of the way. And we'll put the lid back on for a second for this one. But yeah, move it over here. Okay, and then I'll set that there. And then we should get this out of the way. All right. And then we should be good to go here. So let me start. And I'll see if I can get myself in here too. Shimmy down a little, but we should be able to get that from there. Okay, so start the setup. Each player will get one of the tracker mats for the game, and they'll set that in front of themselves. So I'll set you guys up, I guess, as the opponent just to get you that perspective. And then what we'll do is I gotta grab all my hexes here. And over here. Let's see. I don't know if I should have hopefully enough room here to do this. I might have to scoot you back a bit more once I get going. But for starters, the players will take their castle hexes and lay it out in front of them, like so. And then you'll take all the normal hexes and shuffle them up. And we'll grab all of them here. And so every time you play, the board actually can change a little bit because you can shuffle up the hexes. So each game will be a little bit different as how the layout of the board is. So what you'll do is we'll take all the hexes and we'll lay them out. And so you'll lay them out in like a grid-like pattern like this. And so as you get these laid out, you'll also be laying out the entire board. So this will be like the main board that you'll be, fighting on to try and move ninjas up and stuff like that. I may have to scoot you guys back just a bit more here, but we'll see once I get going. And I got to say, this is an upgrade from the paper prototype version I had originally. But let me scoot you back a bit and see. I think that go up 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep. So like so. And then you'll have that and that and that. So as I lay these out, if anyone is new to the stream, if you've just joined, feel free to go ahead and leave a like if you're enjoying this content. This is the Shadow of the Nokzaru. It's a board game. It is the first board game published by well-to-do Walrus Games. And if you want to see more, go ahead and like it and let us know. But what we've been doing is we're right now in the middle of an unboxing party for the board game. So we are currently getting the board game set up to take a look at what it looks like when it's fully laid out. But I'm almost there. And so once you get all the pieces and components laid out, like so, you'll have enough hexes to do that. So then that sets up the board. So this is what you'll be playing on. Generally what you're going to do is each player will get 4 action tokens, which will be laid out to their side. And then so every turn you'll have these action tokens. When you take an action, you take the token, you flip it over to its red side, and then you lay it down next to you. And as you take actions, you flip them over, and they signify how many actions you can take. As you score ninjas throughout the game, you permanently lose some of these tokens. So like if you get to the next movement and you've scored a ninja, so if one of your ninjas are scored, you'll take the action token and you'll set it aside, and you'll only have 3 to use. That way it's a little bit balanced for the other player to catch back up if they needed to. And then what you'll do, so each player will start with 4 though. And then, like I was saying earlier, I don't have the towers right now, but there'll be 3 towers. They'll be here, here, and here. And then you can get to those and capture them with the flags. But for right now, I don't have the prototype towers. We'll be making those later. But then you'll have this. Usually what I would do for most games is I would say, let me move this. Now I'm going to have to see if I can grab the partition real quick. But you'll take the mats, and let me go grab that partition, and I'll be right back real quick here. Let's see. Let's see if I can find the partition real quick to it. It's probably with the other board games. Okay. I've got it. Okay, here it is. I've got it. I'm back. So yeah, so you'll take the partition, and now this table is a little bit smaller, so it's not going to fit perfectly, but on a slightly larger table you'll be fine. But you'll want to take the partition, and you can kind of scrunch it up if you need to, but you'll lay it here, and I'll turn the camera to show you guys, so you can see on your side it's covered up, and then it'll be a bit wider. So ideally, let's see, let me rotate it. It'd be somewhat like this, so you won't be able to see your opponent's mat. And then same, but for now we'll just do it like that for demonstration purposes. But it kind of hides the mat for you from your opponent, so they can't see where the ninjas are. And then once you get all that set up, what you'll be doing is you'll be taking the meeples. You'll take them out here, dump them out on the table, and you will take your 3 ninja meeples. You should have 3 of them. So let me see if I can find them for each player. The 3 ninja meeples for red and 3 for blue. Let's see. There's a 3rd one. Okay. Then you'll take 1 scout meeple, and we should have, yes, here they are. 1 peasant meeple. And you'll take 2 peasant and the scout. You'll put them in the first space of the castle space, although this will be yours in the sense of your perspective there. And I'll show you guys down a bit lower. And then you'll take the ninjas and you'll set them here, here, and here. And so once you get the board game set up like that, and your opponent will do the same here, I believe that means you are ready to start. And so what you'll do is on your turn, you will have, like I said, the 4 action tokens, and I'll just lay these out for you guys, so you can kind of see. But on your turn, what you'll do is you'll take an action token, you'll flip it to take an action, and the actions you can do, you've got movement, moving, scouting, producing, and let's see here. I think you can draw in a card. So that's the one thing I forgot about the setup. And I'm not going to do it with this one because this one's going to be sealed, hopefully, for the YouTubers here in a minute. But when I send them off, but you'll take these and you'll shuffle them up and lay them out, and there'll be 3 face-up cards, and the rest are in a deck. And you can spend all the action costs 1 action token, except for draw a card. If you draw a card, it's going to be 3 action tokens minus the amount of ninjas you've scored, just so it goes down as you're scoring ninjas. So when you're at the end of the game, it costs 1 ninja if you scored 2, since you scored 2 ninjas, for example. So basically, you do that, and you'll get to draw either 1 from the 3 available, or if you don't like the ones that are there, you can take a chance and draw a random 1. But as for the rest of the actions, so when what you'll do is you'll take an action, and what you can do is you can take any amount of actions as many times as you want with any of the pieces, as long as you can afford to pay for it with action tokens. So what you'll do is if you want, for example, to scout, you select a unit on the board as a scouting capability. Right now, at the start of the game, your only unit is the scout piece. So what he can do, each unit has different scouting capabilities. Ninjas don't scout at all. Peasants can scout, but they can only scout the space they're actually in. And scouts scout any space neighboring the space they're in. So with the scout, let's say you wanted to explore this space here. So you'll flip an action token, take a scout action, and flip over the first hex. So in this case, we revealed a archer hex. So this would be a production space. Then for the next action, I'll demonstrate. If you want to move, you'll flip an action token, select a unit, and then you'll move that unit a space. All your units, I think, will be moving just 1 space in between movements. The ninjas are a bit different, though, and I'll explain them in a minute. Once you get here, for example, you can take another action by flipping another token and produce. And when you're producing, that's when you're going to take that production die that I showed you guys a bit earlier if you were here for that. And you're going to roll it. And if you succeed, you get the troop that is listed on the space, which in this case, it's an archer troop. So you'll gain one archer here, and you'll place him on the castle space of your choice. So there is the castle space, which is like the overall big piece, which basically when ninjas move into it, they score themselves. But there's also like spaces in the castle space. So you can select which of the hexes you want to put the archer down in. So since we've got this one explored, we'll put him down here for a sec. Then finally, and then you can use that piece immediately. So the archer gets to scout 2 spaces forward or backwards from the space he's in like a column. But for now, what I want to do is I want to show you guys how the ninja moves as well. So the ninjas, so they move stealthily. So what they do is when you take their action token and then take their first movement out of the castle space, instead of publicly showing like, hey, I moved my archer here, you're just going to pick up the ninja, and then you're going to go over to your hidden map and place him. Let's see. And you're going to place him on the corresponding space of the board. So if he's just left the blue castle space, you'll put him like here, for example. Or if you want, I think I've just realized I'm going to need to flip that around for the production copy, but this will be blue later. You can move it there, for example, to move them up. And then I don't know, as the other player, the red player, obviously, where you've moved him, unless, of course, the seer. Yeah, so I on my side won't see it. Now, with the ninjas, though, they move in like spaces that are face up. So in this case, I would know kind of, hey, you moved him here since he went off the map and he left the castle space. But like if we get later in the game, there's more paths and avenues and things, I might not know where he went. So now my objective and your objective as well would be to get that ninja all the way to the other side of the board into my red castle space, for example. And my red ninjas I want in your blue castle space. But to do that, I've got to keep moving them and stuff. And like each ninja can move like once per turn sort of thing. And then they get a combat and fight, doing like assassinations and stuff too, which is pretty cool. But we'll get to that later. So then once all 4 of your action tokens are finished, they're all face down, your turn is over. It'll go to the next player, which is going to be your opponent. And then he'll get to do 4 actions. And then you go back and forth, kind of repeating until one player eventually gets all their ninjas to the other side of the board. Couple other things you can do. So like with the production, there's a cap at the amount of troops you can have on the board, depending on how many of those outposts you've captured. So if you get to an outpost, you can spend an action token if you have a troop there and no other troops are there to capture the outpost and place your flag inside of it. And then that ups the amount of units you can have at one time on the board. I believe also, I'll have to check my own rulebook because I've forgotten this, but I think if I've left it in there, you can move, if you have 2 outposts or more, you can move a unit between the outpost and the other outpost, like as a tunnel system sort of thing. So they're connected in that way. As for the rest of the components, so we'll show you guys. So I'm just going to flip over some tokens, say fast forward the game here, for example, and get to a point where maybe we have a conflict, and I'll show you guys kind of how the combat works as well. So as you can see here, we have entered the same space in a conflict mode. Obviously, we can't make peace because we are mortal enemies. So therefore, we must fight it out. So what's going to happen is when you have a combat like this, each unit also has their own combat characteristics. The scout, again, is the basic unit, so it just rolls 1 die. The archer gets to roll 1 die, but he also gets to attack from a range. So if he was like here, he can add in a die to the pool. But if this guy is defeated, he can't keep shooting. So some other unit has to be here for him to do that. Another example, and the other example would be the samurai, which you get 1 of. The samurai is, if you're in the lead, you can either choose 1 die or 1 1 extra health, so you can take an extra hit, or you can roll 2 dice. If you're if you're in the behind, the samurais are good at catching you up, so they can get both benefits. So they can roll 2 dice and get to take 2 hits if you're behind in the amount of ninjas you've got. So with the rest of it, so we'll go ahead and do a combat example now. So right now, the basic combat, we've got 1 red and 1 blue fighting each other. So that would mean that for each blue unit, we take a blue die. For each red unit, we take a red die, according to their rules. Then we would roll the dice. And as you can see, or well, I'll show you here. So we got a 1 sword result and a 1 blank result on the opposite side. So with this result, the red is going to land a hit on the blue because there is no equal amount of swords parrying the dice. So if this result happened, no hits would happen. Same with this result. But where I got 1 hit and it was a blank on the blue, therefore the hit applies. You didn't block or parry the hit, so you have to take it. If I had a bunch of dice and I got 4 hits on you, you'd still only lose 1 troop. It's just the strength of the blow sort of thing. So in that instance, the blue scout would be removed from the board. And then after that, we would continue playing. With the cards, though, you can use the cards. I showed you, if you were not here for that earlier, they have numbers on the top. And you can play those cards to add that many dice to your pool for that entire combat. Combat will take place like after all your actions are done and you're done moving. If there's enemies in the same space, they'll fight each other. As for the peasant stuff, like for example, one of the peasants, if you lose that last peasant, he gets moved back to his castle space. So you can't lose him because he makes your troops. But he does have to be taken as like the last casualty in combat sort of thing. Couple other things, cool things about the board game. Yeah. So you've got a lot of the board game does come down to the cards. I'll go ahead and just open this one up too. It'll be fine. So a lot of the combat is those cards. So for example, they have some pretty powerful abilities. So even though they cost you almost all of your action tokens to draw, they're pretty, honestly, in the end of the day, they're worth it a lot. Some of them even give you more cards. So kind of once you get into the game of getting the cards, you can keep going without having to pay as many action tokens at times if you get the right ones. But for example, so like some of the most powerful cards is my Massive Oversight is my favorite one. If you all haven't seen it yet, if you weren't here for that, but Massive Oversight is my favorite card. But this one, for example, says play at the start of your opponent's turn. Then the opponent's turn immediately ends, and they must discard all of their cards they have, for example. So pretty powerful abilities. There's other ones like Technology Advancements allows you to attempt to reduce, and if you succeed, you get double the amount of production, for example. Then you've also got things like hard workers, for example, guarantees that you'll succeed at producing a troop. So some more basic. Windfall is one that allows you to, at the end of your turn, play it, and then you can flip all your action tokens back to the face upside. So you get like basically 2 turns in a row, as long as you play it on your turn. There's one called Tribute. You can play it and have your opponent give you a card, and then your opponent gets to choose which card they give you, but they have to give you one of their cards. So like if you know he just drew, for example, the Massive Oversight from the face-up deck, and he has that now because I don't think you have to wait a turn to play a card. But I'll double check the rule book on that. But yeah, so if he's drawn that, you can play, for example, Tribute. If you do that, maybe he didn't know you had that, or even if you had it just in stock from before and he's forgotten, stuff like that. You can play Tribute and then take that Massive Oversight from him and then play it on him on his enemy turn, go again, sort of thing. And so, yeah, so there's a bunch of cards. I won't spoil them all here, but that's some of the cards, for example. So yeah, so then eventually as you're playing, the hidden ninjas will move up enough. There's one other thing. So let's say you're a blue ninja guy. Let's say hypothetically, you've lost your blue scout. My red guy's sitting here all triumphant, and he's so happy he's won. But then your blue ninja decides to move up a bit, and he's made it to this space on the hidden mat. There is the blue ninjas, although it's rare when you want to do this, but you can do it if it's necessary, can reveal themselves and attempt to assassinate a person in a space. So if they're in the same space as an enemy unit, you can take them off the map, put them down, and announce that you're doing an assassination. It's free to do, actually. So what happens is that ninja will stay in that space for the rest of his turn and for the rest of your turn. And then as he comes back to me, I have one turn to be able to spot the space the ninja's in. So when I was doing that scouting earlier, you can do that scouting on face-up spaces. If you do it in the face-up space the ninja's in, he gets caught and he gets sent back to the castle, your castle, and you have to start over moving him up. If he and then if he's neighboring a space, you have to announce that ninja nearby is the term I've used in the rulebook. But you can, just as long as you let your opponent know, sort of thing, that there's a ninja here, then I know it close. So then once I spot that space, you'll take the ninja and then you'll, if I can do it, I could just save my troop and you'll have to move him back to the castle. If I can't do it, for example, I don't have any, I could maybe do it with my peasant because I can move it up 2 spaces and then spot the space he's in to get him. But if once I lost the ninja here, if I didn't successfully get to him, maybe my peasant was all the way over here, my scout would be defeated. And then on your turn, you could move the ninja again. And then instead of moving it on a public space, you could just move it to here, back on your hidden map. And I wouldn't be able to see where it was again, for example. Other than that, and then we talked about the capture outposts. Let's see, I think that kind of is mostly the overview of the game. And then you'll also, as you're kind of like producing in the land, I did forget to mention this, when you do produce a space on a space, it somehow missed when I was making the game to get the tokens to mark this, but this will be in the final production copy though. And I'm going to have to outsource them locally for these ones. But you'll take little tokens and they'll say exploited on them. So if you succeed at a production in a space, you'll put an exploited token there. And then when that happens, you will not be able to produce in that space again until you run out of exploited tokens and you need another one. If that happens, you get to take them all off the board and kind of start over there. But that's kind of like to make you keep moving out, so you don't just stay in one space and keep trying to churn out all the units you can before moving on to the next one. Other than that, that's about it for the board game. That kind of overviews most of it. And so, yeah, so I'm pretty excited for it. Definitely hopefully upcoming months we'll be able to go ahead and finally move to the Kickstarter, and that'll be really exciting. We'll have hopefully a few YouTuber previewers taking a look at the game too, giving you another overview kind of like I have here. And then hopefully, if all goes well and I'm able to get it squared away, I'd like to have a little mini movie trailer too. So that'll be coming out soon, and you'll be able to see that as well. But yeah, other than that, pretty excited for it. I think that kind of covers most of it. If you have any other questions or anything, I'll wait on here a couple more minutes to let the chat populate anything. But yeah, go ahead and leave a comment, question about the board game, or if you missed something in the rules, I can show you again, or you have any questions like that, go ahead and feel free to ask them. And then if not, then we'll be about done here and we'll be wrapping up. And then I don't know if everyone's seen it or not, but while we're waiting on those questions, I'll go ahead and we can play. The trailer's a little bit dated, but we'll start it over. And let me pause it here and share my screen. But we'll watch the trailer again too, while we just wait for those questions to populate. Yeah, let me just 1 second here. Okay. Looks like that's about it. let's see. So we're going to go ahead and wrap this up here. We'll stop streaming. All right, so it looks like, yeah, all right. So that's about it for me today. So yeah, big step getting the prototypes in finally. So what we're going to do here, I'm going to wrap up the stream here. If you're interested in following the game a bit more, feel free to go over to www.welltodowalrusgames.com, and that'll be a whole page about the board game there. You can read a bit more about it there. I would definitely recommend signing up for the mailing list. You can see it that you can get email updates from me as I progress, and hopefully I'll be sharing here some dates for the actual Kickstarter here soon. And then also, if you're interested, you can find me on Board Game Geek at Well-To-Do Walrus is the name of my Board Game Geek account, or you can look up the game on Board Game Geek account there, Board Game Geek there too, and you'll see it there. Other than that, we're going to wrap up here today. But thank you all for joining us. And I hope you have a great rest of your evening. And we will see you real soon, hopefully, on the Kickstarter launch day. So we'll see you guys soon, and have a great rest of your evening. Goodbye.